Hey, does anyone remember back when Marvel Comics actually used to publish and sell comics? Yeah, that's pretty cool, wasn't it? So, but seriously, I'm just baffled and perplexed at what's going on right now with Marvel versus DC. Here we are, we're still in the pandemic as I'm doing this video, and we're about a month after Diamond started shipping books out again. Now, I understand that there's no way you can have a situation like this without it being very disruptive to pretty much any industry. Comics would be no exception, especially since comics are by no means a critical service. I mean, of course, they're going to be highly disrupted by something like this. So it's not been much of a surprise, at least not for me, that in these first few weeks that Diamond's been shipping books out again, that there have not really been a lot of things on the shelf. But as I was picking up new comic books this week, it struck me that for all the complaining people are doing, and by people I mean people in the comic book industry, mostly retailers and other publishers, for all the complaining they're doing about DC and your decision to break away from Diamond, for all the comments they're making that, oh my goodness, DC's just going to break the industry or they're going to ruin everything, for all the hate they're getting, I gotta say that, you know what? I can get good DC comics right now. In fact, I probably picked up more DC comics in this last month than I did the month before the pandemic started, when everything was still shipping normally. Strictly from a consumer standpoint, strictly from a customer standpoint, I gotta say, if I just look at it that way, it seems everything DC's doing right now is they're doing it right. And despite all the complaints other parts of the industry want to do, despite all of the doomsayers and naysayers about DC or comics in general, it really comes down to, are the consumers happy? Do they have something to buy? Are they going to spend money on it? So needless to say, for Marvel being the #1 publisher, I'm really underwhelmed with the fact that a month into this, I've seen books by DC Comics, I've seen books by Dynamite, I've seen books by Antarctic Press and Image, but I've seen hardly anything from Marvel. And keep in mind, Marvel is owned and backed by $1 billion corporation. So it's not like there's some mom and pop shop that's really having to struggle with the difficulties of the pandemic. I mean, sure, everyone, even large corporations, are struggling with it to some degree. But Marvel, more than anyone, should have the assets, resources, and the know-how to keep things going. I was talking to the owner of my favorite comic book shop about this when I was picking up my books. And his point was, well, they did have this pencils down order that went on, so obviously that's going to slow things down for getting books back in production. I mean, that's true as far as a matter of fact. That probably is a big reason why we still don't have much things on the shelves. However, that excuse only goes so far with me. Number one, people who create comics probably do it from home anyway. And if they don't, they could. So doing a work from home for your writers, your artists, your letterers, any type of the artist, whether it's pencil or ink or colorist, that's super easy. Barely an inconvenience. And all these artists and writers, they're contractors, so they're only getting paid if they're working. So trust me, they didn't want the vacation. Then, of course, you're saying, well, but, they didn't have any way to distribute the books, so why would Marvel be putting out books when they didn't know when Diamond was going to open back up? And that's fair to a degree, because no one knew when Diamond was going to open back up, and they had a monopoly on distribution, so what could be done? Well, except that excuse only flies so far in the fact that DC took action. They became the masters of their own destiny. And what did Marvel do? Well, nothing. Just lost money. Just cost a lot of their creators work. I mean, as a reader, I'm really okay if they don't put out more Marvel comics. I enjoy them, and I'll buy them if they do, but it's strictly a luxury item. So the real losers here are the creators, and as well as the retailers who thrive largely off how well the big two do. So what's the point of this video? Well, it's just kind of to reiterate what I've said about, DC doing things right, and how I just don't understand the rest of the market for criticizing DC in this, because simply as a mathematical fact, what DC is doing is working. Anyway, that's it for now. Appreciate you watching the video. Like, subscribe, leave me an insult in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys later.